Welcome to the Dress Up Mom. Hi, I'm Rika Hayden. Welcome to another edition of the Dress Up Mom. As always, thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't done that already, and give us a thumbs up if you like what you're seeing. That lets us know to keep doing these kinds of videos. And also, we're on Twitter and Instagram at the Dress Up Mom. Speaking of Instagram, that is the topic of our video today. And maybe not the usual way I think people think about Instagram, but what I have found is Instagram is a great way to source some of your vintage and resale looks. And I'm fairly new to it. So I'm going to talk about some of the luck that I've had with using Instagram to find some really great, fun pieces. So my first experience is I follow a blogger, and she was at this place in LA called The Way We Wore. It's a vintage shop, and I had read and heard about it a lot. And so I started following The Way We Wore on Instagram and got to see their outfits and what they were pulling together. And not too long ago, I don't know if you can see this, but I ran across this on The Way We Wore's Instagram. So it may look familiar because I happen to be wearing that right now, which I'm going to stand up and model for you. But I just instantly fell in love with this. I call it my dream coat. It reminds me of, I just love it, I don't know. And I've worn it quite a bit. It also came with this little hat. The designer I had never heard of, it's Dorothée Biss, and it's from the 70s, and she and her husband, I looked them up and researched them. She and her husband had this line of knitwear in the 70s. Anyhow, so I saw that on the Instagram and just fell in love with it and clicked around and ended up calling and was able to actually purchase it from the shop without ever going in. Even though I live in San Diego, LA is still a ways away. I asked a bunch of questions to make sure that it would fit properly, because a lot of times you cannot return things from these. But it came and I just absolutely love it, and it got me thinking about how to use Instagram for sourcing these types of things. That way, if you're living somewhere and you have a limited supply of shops around you, you literally have access to shops around the world that you can buy from. I kind of like doing it better on Instagram than on a person's website, because you can see it there. They put a lot of information about it, and you can actually click back and ask questions, which I've been doing. So I had a lot of fun with that one, and I thought, how else can I use this? As you probably know, if you've been watching my channel at all, one of my favorite shops is in San Francisco. It's called ReLove. And Delilah owns and runs that shop, and I absolutely love her as a person and love her taste. So I decided to start following ReLove on Instagram. And I'll tell you, just like anything Delilah does, her Instagram feeds are great. There's like 3 or 4 outfits every day. They give you all sorts of information and pictures, and she's made it super easy to just click and buy and get it all shipped back from you. Because I don't get to go up to her shop that often, maybe once a year if I'm lucky. So recently I was on her Instagram, and this came up. I don't know if you can see that properly. So maybe there's a theme of stuff I like on Instagram, rainbow colors or something, but it is a bin, and she gave information on it. Vintage Guatemalan rainbow embroidered chevron stripe front cropped jacket with all sorts of measurements too, so that I could tell if it would fit. And needless to say, I bought this as well and just absolutely love it. And I've worn it a bunch of different places, to work, to weddings. And so I'm following now several of these shops on Instagram and using them for inspiration too, to get ideas about outfits, but also to buy. So I'll say there are a couple of things you want to be a little bit careful, because again, usually you can't return these things. So you'll want to either call or ask questions to make sure that it fits you. This I had to have altered a little bit, so I knew if it was a little big, I could get it altered, which turned out perfectly. So I have found that you can get a good exchange of dialogue going back and forth with the people via Instagram, and then and buy the things that way. So that is this segment. I hope that I've inspired you to maybe look around some shops that may not be in your area, follow them on Instagram, possibly purchase some things. I would love, love, love to hear if anybody else is doing this, and send me the pictures or information on the things that you've bought and the luck you've had in some of your favorite shops, so I can follow them as well. I hope that you like this episode. Thanks again for watching, and until next time, dress it up a little.